Things are always better in the light. Welcome to The Whole Truth, everyone, where I'm going to take you through the entire Bible from Genesis all the way to Revelation without skipping anything. If that sounds good to you, make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below. But more importantly, open up a Bible. Find a Bible, open it to Exodus chapter 25, and find verse 31. We're talking today about the lampstand that will go inside of the tabernacle. God was giving the instructions to Moses about how to build this tabernacle. It's a tent. It's a big tent, but it's a tent where all of the Israelite people would come to worship God. And only the priest could go inside. And God had all of these very specific instructions about how things were to be done. And one of those is this lampstand. And the reason God is doing that is because all of those instructions are telling us about Jesus. They are typologies. It's a foreshadow. This object, like today's lampstand, will tell us something about Jesus who we'll meet in the New Testament of the Bible. I'll show you how. It's Exodus chapter 25 and verse 31. You shall also make a lampstand of pure gold. The lampstand shall be of hammered work. Its shaft, its branches, its bowls, its ornamental knobs, and flowers shall be of one piece. And 6 branches shall come out of its sides, 3 branches of the lampstand out of one side, and 3 branches of the lampstand out of the other side. 3 bowls shall be made like almond blossoms on one branch, with an ornamental knob and a flower, and 3 bowls made like almond blossoms on the other branch, with an ornamental knob and a flower. And so for the 6 branches that come out of the lampstand, on the lampstand itself, 4 bowls shall be made like almond blossoms, each within its ornamental knob and flower. And there shall be a knob under the first 2 branches of the same, a knob under the second 2 branches of the same, and a knob under the third 2 branches of the same, according to the 6 branches that extend from the lampstand. Their knobs and their branches shall be of one piece. All of it shall be one hammered piece of pure gold. You shall make 7 lamps for it, and they shall arrange its lamps so that they give light in front of it. And its wick trimmers and their trays shall be of pure gold, and it shall be made of a talent of pure gold with all these utensils. And see to it that you make them according to the pattern which was shown you on the mountain. There you have it, the lampstand. It's one center shaft, and off of that shaft are 6 branches, 3 on either side. On each branch, there's a little blossom like an almond flower blossom. It's made to look like an almond flower blossom on each of those branches. And then a little bloom, like a little almond bloom on top. And they're going to be filled up with oil, and wicks would be put inside, and you would have 7 total wicks that would be lit at one time. We see this in around Christmas time. For the Jewish faith, they still have a menorah, and you see that same shape. There's one center shaft, and then there's all of the branches that come off of the side. Now, God gave the instructions of how he wanted this to be. It was going to be one center shaft with 6 branches coming off of it. All of those would have little almond flowers, and they would be filled up with oil, and a wick would be put inside. And then a priest would come in, and he would take care of lighting those and trimming the wicks and replacing the wicks. But the lamp was to always burn inside of the tabernacle. Now, how in the world does this golden lampstand, and by the way, it's supposed to be made of pure gold, how does that point us to Christ in the New Testament? Well, I'll give you several reasons, but the first one's pretty obvious. Jesus said of himself, I am the light of the world. Didn't Jesus say that? And aren't we told in John, the first chapter of John, that the light came into the world? Jesus is the light of the world. This lampstand that would go inside of the tabernacle would picture how Jesus would be the light of the world. Now, this is pretty interesting because inside of the tabernacle, you'll notice, we haven't got there yet, but you'll notice as we get there, there will be no windows in the tabernacle. When I'm inside the tabernacle, I am walking in the light of Jesus. The only way that I can see there, the only way that I can see in this place of worship is to be in the light of Christ. You see, friends, if you're not in the light, in the true light, that is Jesus, if you're not walking in his light, then the truth of the matter is you don't actually know where you are. When it comes to worshiping God, you're all on your own trying to figure something out. You don't know what it is, but if you're in the light of Jesus, he shows you exactly how God is to be worshiped. Here in the tabernacle, there's no worldly light coming in from the outside, but the light of Christ lights up that place of worship, and they can see what they're doing. They can see how God wants to be worshiped because of the lamp that is inside of the tabernacle. Is it not interesting that the lamp is supposed to be made of entirely gold? No wood in this lamp. What, did they not know how to turn wood? I'm sure they did. How come God had the Ark of the Covenant with wood overlaid with gold? And then he had the table of showbread made with wood overlaid with gold. But when it comes to the light, it's all gold. Remember, gold represents his deity. And so here in his deity, here it's pure gold, no wood mixed in with that at all. Because the worship that we're offering God is the worship that he wants, not the worship that we want to give him. We want to give him that worship only after he tells us what it is. We don't know how to worship God without Christ. We're separated from God. We're far from God. Look at the worldly ways of religion that we've come up with. Look at the Greco-Roman mythology and look at what we come up with when we try to picture who God is. God says, no, this is exactly who I am. Make this lampstand of pure gold. I also love the fact that the light of the lamp is the only reason that you can see the lamp inside of the tabernacle. It is only because the lamp itself is giving light that allows you to see what the lampstand even looks like. And that's true for Jesus as well. He is the light of the world, and he has revealed to us who God is. Even more still, this golden lampstand has one center shaft and 6 branches coming off of it. There's 7 total lamps. It's interesting because in the Bible, 7 is the number of perfection. We see that all through the Bible. God created the world in 6 days, and on the 7th day, he rested. The 7 is always a number of perfection inside of the Bible. Interestingly enough, clearly told us in the Bible, you know this in the book of the Revelation, especially right now with everything going on in the world. I'm sure you've heard about the number 6. You know, we all hear 666, but if you pay attention to what John says in the book of the Revelation, he actually says the number 6 is the number of a man. So the number of a man is the number 6, and there are 6 branches coming off of this center shaft. Jesus tells us in the New Testament that he is the vine and we are the branches. And so here, this center shaft has 6 branches coming off of it. God has made a way for us, mankind, to come to him, to be united with him. You and I can be one with Christ. We can be united with God in his Son Jesus. He is still the vine. We are the branches. We are connected to him. And even more, on each of the branches, there is a little almond flower. What in the world is that about? Well, I'll tell you, a very interesting thing happens. A little further into this Old Testament story of Moses, you're going to have his brother Aaron becomes the priestly line. Well, that gets challenged. As normal human things go, that gets challenged. Why does Aaron, Moses' brother, get to be the priestly line? How about all of these other people that help out in the tabernacle? How come they can't be the priestly line? So God sets them up a challenge. He says, here's what I want you all to do. You're going to take the branches, you're going to take your walking sticks, and we're going to see. Now, remember, a walking stick would be a dead branch. And take your walking stick, and we're going to lay them all out in front of us. And they do. These elders lay them out, and Moses has Aaron, his brother, lay his out as well. And sure enough, the next morning when they come by, do you know what they see of Aaron's walking stick, of Aaron's staff? It has budded. And do you know what type of staff it was, and do you know what it budded? Almond flowers. We see that in the book of Numbers. The priestly line of Aaron had this staff that budded with almond flowers. Well, will you hear this? Jesus, who was dead, rose again, just like that staff that was a dead branch, budded with flowers the next morning. Jesus, who died for you and I, he didn't just die on the cross. After he died on the cross, He rose again. He who was dead is alive. And you know what else? He is our high priest. You see, in the Old Testament, they had these high priests that would go into the place of worship, the closest place where you could get to God, into the holiest of holies, and they would present the blood of the sacrifice there on the mercy seat in the Ark of the Covenant. That article we've already talked about, the Ark of the Covenant. Well, Jesus went directly to the Father and presented his own blood as this atoning price for you and I. Jesus is our high priest. Jesus, who was dead and is alive, is our high priest. And the lampstand that's in the tabernacle was a center shaft with 6 branches coming off of it. And then there were little almond flowers on each of those branches. And pay attention that the center shaft was not the only source of light. All of the branches were to give light. They were all to be in the same way. They were all to have a wick, and they were all to have oil, and they were all to produce light. Because Jesus, who is the light of the world, he ascended to the Father after he died and rose, and he left you and I to be the light of the world. He says that. He says, you're the salt of the earth, and you are the light of the world. Now, what if we had a light? Who would take a light and then hide it under a bushel? Who would hide it under a basket? No, you would take that light and you would use it to see what is around and to shine for all the world. And that is what Jesus tells you and I to do as well. We are the light of the world. We're reflecting the same light that has saved us. We're reflecting that for everyone else to see. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video, and I hope you'll come back tomorrow as we're going to see another article of furniture inside of the tabernacle that points to Jesus. I'll see you then.